Welcome to Sandy's Kitchen, and today is going to be a chocoholic's dream come true. Stay tuned to watch a wonderful chocolatey dessert appear right in front of your eyes. Okay, so this dessert actually has a lot of ingredients, but first I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I have already buttered and floured my ramekins or souffle dishes. Make sure that when you're doing this that it holds at least a cup capacity, maybe just a little bit more, looking at about maybe 300 mils, 350, but make sure that you grease and butter them, okay? I also have placed mine in a dish so it's easier to put into the oven and take out of the oven. Lined it with parchment paper just for easy cleanup, okay? So we're adding in our flour, which is 125 grams, a pinch of salt, the tablespoon of baking powder, 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Next, I'm going to be adding in 125 grams of superfine sugar. Superfine sugar is actually a little finer ground than granulated sugar. If you can't find that, it might also be labeled as caster sugar. If you can't find any of those, feel free to grab just regular granulated sugar and just pulse it up a bit in a food processor just to grind it down a bit so you have a little finer. Now I'll be adding in a cup of milk and 75 grams of melted sweet butter, otherwise known as unsalted butter. This dessert is so easy to make. I'm actually doing it by hand. I have 2 eggs, which I'm going to just lightly beat. And I'm also adding that in. And now we want to make sure that we stir until we have a nice smooth batter. What I'm adding now are the raspberries. If you have fresh raspberries, use fresh raspberries. I had the individually frozen raspberries, and so I'm going to be using those. I'm not using the frozen raspberries that come in a syrup, but actually frozen raspberries. And I have about 100 grams of that. And I'm just very carefully stirring them in. Okay, there's the batter. Now that you have your batter all done, at this point, if you had any Grand Marnier or Cointreau, I would add some in. I don't have any, and it's a shame. It's unfortunate because the orange would just play up on that raspberry very well. But if you do happen to have Grand Marnier or Cointreau, please feel free to add a tablespoon in right now. I'm going to now add my batter into my prepared ramekin or souffle dishes. I also have 125 grams of brown sugar, light brown sugar, and I'm going to add that to this bowl here. And I'm adding to that a tablespoon and a half of cocoa powder. What I'm doing now is just blending it. And we're going to sprinkle this over the top of each ramekin. And when I have my boiling water, and I'm going to be measuring at 150 milliliters. Now what I'll be doing is trying to pour about a quarter of it in each ramekin. Okay, so our dessert's in the oven. It's going to be there for about 20 minutes. If you didn't want to have raspberries in it, you could omit it, but I would add in its place about 75 grams of chopped nuts, whatever chopped nuts that you like. I like raspberries, and again, if I had Cointreau or Grand Marnier, I would add that in, about a tablespoon, right at the end when I added in the raspberries. Sugar Candy Man. Okay, so the waiting period is over, and the final results, I'm going to attempt to remove it from the ramekin, and onto a plate.
Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. You better
Thanks again for tuning into Sandy's Kitchen, and make sure that you make this wonderful raspberry dessert. It's absolutely delicious.
Daddy was just a girl in disguise.
Just might be a poor tailor's lazy son. I don't mind, rub the lamp and the show goes on. I can make you